What's going on, guys? It is Mike with Mike's Moto Madness, back with another how-to video. This week we're going to be going over how to corner on a motorcycle. I'm going to be starting with just basic concepts of cornering on a motorcycle, and we'll work our way up to more advanced maneuvers from there. I do want to say this video is going to mainly be about road bikes. And it's not going to be all road bikes, but most of them are going to work this way. So get a feel for your own bike, make sure you know what you're getting into when you get on your own bike, and go from there. You just need to start slow and build up and get a feel for your own bike. Alright, so we're going to start out with beginner level turning. I'm going to go over slow speeds to start, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at when you're going slow, because handling at high speeds is totally different. If you're making a left turn or a right turn and it's a sharper turn, you're going to be using more of your steering than you're going to be using the counterweight of your bike. The reason for this is at a slower speed, the curve of the tire is not going to help you as much through a turn. You still need to lean the bike, but you're not going to have as much pushing the bike to the road. So to start, you're going to get going. On this type of turn, I lean my bike a little bit and I turn my bars ever so slightly. It's kind of a balance of both. You're not going to just do one or the other. And again, we'll do a right turn here, and you're just going to turn those bars and turn through that corner. A little bit of body lean, a little bit of handlebar turn. Now there's different times that this is going to change too. For example, there was some sand on the road back there, so I used less lean in my body, I slowed my speed down more, and I used more turn in my handlebars. Right now you can see I'm leaning the bike a little further down, and it turns sharper, right? The lower you go, the sharper it'll turn. You also have to keep your momentum up to keep that going. I'm going to stop because I'm getting dizzy, but you guys get the point. At fast speeds, it's completely different. You don't want to use your handlebars to turn at all. One last time so you guys can see it really well here. I'm going to be making a left turn. I turn the handlebars. I'm going slow, the bike's straight up. Once I get going, I lean the bike a little bit and lighten up on the turning of the handlebars until you come out of the turn. As you build more speed, you need less turn on your handlebars. So here, again, I'm going slow, I'm turning the handlebars. As you roll in, you see the bike goes over instead and the steering straightens out. So that's going to be turning at a slow speed. The next maneuver I'm going to show you guys, for you beginners, is going to be turning at a higher rate of speed. At a higher speed, you're going to be using what's called counter steer. Counter steer helps your bike drop into the turn, and it allows the curve of the tire to make contact with the road. The farther over on the side of the tire that makes the road, the sharper you're going to turn when you're going at higher speeds. What this means is that you actually want the bike to go over on the side of the tire. That's why MotoGP racers get really low down there. It's important to get the knees and elbows to the ground, because the lower they can get on the tire, the farther over they can get, the sharper and harder that bike's going to go into the corners at a high rate of speed. Now what's important here is that you don't necessarily want to use your body weight when you're just driving on the streets. The reason being is there is sometimes sand, you know, on tighter corners, that kind of thing. You have to be careful for that. The more straight up you keep the bike, the better off you're going to be if you do encounter sand on the road. But as you guys can see, I can lean my body way out here, and I'm going to get a mild amount of turning on the bike, okay? So your body rate really doesn't matter. You can see here, I can lean all the way to the left and I can still turn my bike right. The body weight really doesn't matter when it comes to basic handling. If you keep your body positioned straight on the bike while you're turning, you're going to be better off when you're getting started. As far as counter steer goes, the way it works is you actually push the side of the handlebar away from you that you want to turn towards. So you guys can see there, I'm going to push with my right hand and it drops me into the turn. As I pull it closer, it sits me up. Again, I push, brings me low, pull it, it sits me up, okay? Alright, so again, for you beginners, we're going to be using counter steer to turn at higher speeds. It doesn't even have to be that fast, but if you're going anything above about 15-20 miles an hour, counter steer is going to be what you want to do. You're going to want to use the bike to lean into the corner. I'm going to push the inside handlebar away from me, and it's to cause the bike to drop. We'll do it again here on the left turn. You guys will see I'll keep my body weight straight up. We push on that handlebar ever so slightly. You don't need very much at all. And you just lean into the turn. And you guys will feel it as you push. You can feel it come in and out of the corner. Now, as you guys get more and more comfortable with your bikes, you're going to get more and more towards an intermediate level of riding. What that means is that you're going to be able to make faster turns, sharper turns. You're going to be able to, at low speeds, maneuver your bike without having to put your feet down to keep balance. You're going to just kind of get to know your bike. And what's important there is that you have a bike you can get to know. Because I've ridden a lot of different bikes and I couldn't just hop on any bike and know exactly where that balance is going to be. You have to get to know a little bit of every bike. So what I'm going to show you guys now is how to properly do a U-turn on the road. And this will be for a little bit more intermediate rider. You'll be able to work your way around without putting your feet down. At first, it's good. Have your feet out to the side for balance in case you start to tip over, and hold yourself up. But this is what it's going to look like when you guys practice that and you get to a point where you can hold a tight turn, just like in the roundabout I was doing there a few minutes ago. Make sure there's no cars. And what I'm doing here, you can see I'm only going 4 miles an hour and my feet are up. I'm balanced on the bike. So you're going to just lean the bike in, let the clutch out, and you can lower that bike in a little bit more and more as you get going a little faster. You'll see as I went through the turn, my speed actually went up a little bit. And all I'm doing there is feathering the clutch so that I'm not just relying on the throttle, because the throttle can be choppy sometimes and you'll either cause yourself to fall over low side, or you could cause yourself to sit back up and run into a curb when you're turning around. So I always use my clutch when I'm turning around like that, just to keep things smooth for me. One other trick that you can use is you can put a little bit of pressure on your rear brake. That keeps that throttle from being very choppy. It'll allow it to be a little bit smoother operation, and it just causes a little bit of drag on the back, which actually helps the bike feel more balanced. You never want to use your front brake when you're doing a tight turn like that, whether you be coming from a stop sign or anything like that, because what it'll do is kind of lock up that front tire and make the front end jerk down, which will cause you, if you're in a low type turn, you know, the body's down like this, it'll cause the bike to fall over on its side. Now what I'll show you guys is, once you get a little bit more towards the intermediate side of things, how you can corner at a higher speed in a tighter corner, how the bike will come down and lay lower using counter steering, and how you can use a little bit of your body weight to just kind of help the bike down without it having to go as far down. I did check that this turn doesn't have gravel, so guys, just be sure when you are doing this, make sure that your corners are clean so that you don't lay your bike down going down further into a corner. I'm going to position my body weight a little bit using counter steer. That wasn't a very tight turn. This one's much tighter. So counter steer, look into the corner. You're looking all the way through the corner where you want to go, not where you're at. And that's how you're going to use counter steering to keep yourself stable, moving through corners at a higher rate of speed on tighter turns. The lower the bike goes, the tighter you're going to turn. Show you guys one more corner here. Use your body weight. Look through the corner. Counter steer to get the bike down low enough. And as you come through the turn, you're going to be using the throttle, rolling it on later in the turn. You want to be off the throttle in the first half of the turn and rolling into and on the throttle coming out of the second half of the turn. By the time you guys get into the turn, you shouldn't have to use any brakes once you're actually getting into the turn, because it can break your traction and that'll cause you to low side the bike. All right, guys. So as far as advanced riding, you guys are going to be on your own for that one, because I myself am not an advanced rider by any means. I've never gotten the bike out to a track. I've mainly just ridden on the road. So once I get more track experience, maybe I'll make a later video. But I myself am not an advanced rider. You could see those guys on TV with the techniques they use and that kind of thing, and they are far above my skill level. I do hope though that this video helped you. Hopefully you pulled some bit of good information out of it, and this will help you stay safer on the road and get practiced if you are a beginner rider. I just want to say really quick too, guys, make sure that if you're going to be riding and testing your limits and building your skills, to be wearing the proper gear, please. Right now I've got my padded jacket on, I've got my gloves that would keep my hands from having any sort of injury, along with my helmet. I'm just wearing blue jeans because it's really hot today, and really that's not even enough gear if you guys are testing your limits on the road. So please be careful, ride safe. I really appreciate you watching the video. Make sure to smash that like button if you guys enjoyed what you saw. I hope to see you next time. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. I make videos 3 times a week. Thanks guys, we'll see you next week.